Kubernetes is a thought experiment. Kind of at its core, to me, that's what it is. It's a thought experiment that asks, what if the thing that we call a machine, what if that wasn't a rack server somewhere or even a cloud VM? What if what we call a machine is actually kind of the whole, we get rid of that machine concept, and the thing that stands in for it is an entire data center, or really like a cloud provider account that gives you virtually unlimited resources. And what if all you had to think about really in terms of physical resources was how much RAM something needs and how much CPU it needs. There's also the idea, which is a little more complex, shoehorned in there, like storage persistence is also a thing that applications do, so it's got to have some concept of that. But basically, if you just drop the idea that you have a fixed number of machines that all have to have software provisioned on them, and you just get into this containerized world of ideas where it's like, my machine is the data center, the whole cloud that I'm running on. So in this thought experiment, you still have processes. You still have the idea of like your applications and services. Those are basically processes. The change is that in Kubernetes, every process has a container around it. So you're dealing with containerized applications and services. And Kubernetes is kind of your operating system. It runs on an undefined number of cloud resources, the actual stuff that gives you storage, that gives you block storage, that gives you RAM, that gives you CPU. We're going to dive pretty deeply into this throughout this video series. And maybe most importantly, I'm going to show you how to set up some practical, real-world, popular applications on Kubernetes yourself from scratch. In a starting in kind of a simple way and then ending with some pretty production-ready things. There's a couple things that I am taking care to really focus on. So like, if that's not what you're interested in, then maybe this isn't the course for you, but I'm going to put it out right here. The things that are most important to me in communicating here are, first, to get you kind of thinking in Kubernetes. It has a pretty strong kind of reality of its own, and if you're hanging on to the old reality, it's going to be really tough to make the switch to thinking this new way. Now you can turn that on and off as you move between Kubernetes and the rest of the world, but I want you to come out with an intuitive feeling of like, I know how to think in Kubernetes. I know how to take problems, break them down into pieces that fit into Kubernetes. Second, I've been working with containers quite a bit over the last 4 years. Actually, no, since Docker was .cloud. So going on 5 or 6 years now. One of the things that I want to focus on, because it's skipped in, no one talks about this in tutorials and courses, everybody's selling the technology, but there are some real warts still. Kubernetes is moving pretty fast and it's improving very rapidly and it's pretty stable now, but there are still some warts when it comes to matching up Kubernetes thought experiment land with the types of applications you see in the real world. And I'm going to point out where those worlds kind of collide in ways that are suboptimal. I just want to make a very quick note about where this course fits in the kind of Kubernetes education landscape right now. There's a lot of good documentation on the official Kubernetes site. There are some excellent books that have been written, O'Reilly, other publishers. There's very little material that I was able to find while I was like researching this and like working on the applications and actually learning this myself at a deeper level. There's very little between absolute beginner stuff and like toy projects and examples, like here's how secrets work in Kubernetes. Like, hey, look, your thing has a secret. There's very little between that and then like the real world of like, okay, my application's a little more complicated. Maybe it's not optimally designed for Kubernetes, but I still want to run it on Kubernetes. Well, how do I make this concept work for me? So again, just more of a focus on the practical world. So in this course, we're going to cover the basics of Kubernetes, just the minimum theory you need to actually get started. We're going to install kubectl, the sort of controller application binary that's going to run locally on your laptop or desktop or whatever to do things in your Kubernetes cluster. It's the only local tool you really need to follow along here. I'm going to cover setting that up. Second, I'm going to set up the kind of integration with DigitalOcean so that we can use their hosted Kubernetes offering. We're going to set up a simple application, and you'll learn kind of practically the first few important concepts in Kubernetes that we talked about earlier. And then we're going to graduate to a much more complex multi-tiered application. There's going to be some popular applications in there, WordPress, a few others, things that are actually useful to be able to run. I want you to get some practical use out of this, and when it's all done, like if you want to keep running WordPress or Nextcloud or Mumble or something on Kubernetes, you should have something that's actually useful for you and your friends or your family. And we're also going to deal with things that can make, I mentioned warts and stuff, but things that make things messier. Persistence, weird types of persistence that you see in real life applications. Things, again, that don't fit into the Kubernetes model neatly. Maybe the most important thing, I don't know why I put it at the end, follow along on GitHub. There is a GitHub repo linked in the description for this video. That is the GitHub repo that's going to be used for all of these videos, for all the projects, all the code, everything's in there. And most importantly, Kubernetes moves quickly. Kubernetes is in beta right now in DO, like that offering will change, some of the stuff will change. So prefer the GitHub documentation over exactly what you see me typing in these videos. Most of it will stay exactly the same, but things like version numbers will change, like container version tags, that kind of stuff. Prefer the GitHub documentation, that will stay up to date. And if you have corrections, additions, comments, small fixes to make, please feel free to contribute on GitHub. Okay, so that being said, let's just jump right in, start setting up Kubernetes and all the tools we need, and yeah, we'll make it happen. I'm going to say in about 45 minutes from now, you're going to have something running on Kubernetes, and it's going to be freaking awesome. You will have made a thing, and you'll understand the very basics, and then we'll dive deeper. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.